think we are live. Amazing. We have arrived. It's been a little bit of a challenge to get here, but we've got here. It's never dull or boring when tech is an issue. And it kind of speaks to what we're going to be talking about a little bit more about today. So no bad thing. We have to adapt to change, essentially. And we're going to be digging into this a little bit more. So if you have been trying to get on here for a little while, then thank you for your patience and thank you for still being here. And if you have managed to jump on just now, then even better, perfect timing because we're getting started. And if you're catching this on the recording, obviously perfect timing anyway. So I'm Savannah Alalia, and I am here to chat with you a little bit today. I've been doing a live series, and this is the second part of that series. It's about unlocking your potential as a high-functioning human. And this is going to be happening this week. We've got 4 episodes in total. This is the second episode, and this one is about so this whole week, apologies, is about becoming a high-functioning human. So yesterday, if you caught the live, I spoke about pain, and I talked about how pain is your friend. If you missed that one and you want to watch it again, then you can head to the link in my bio, and you'll be sent a follow-up, which will allow you to click on the links and take a look at those bits of information. Today, I'm going to be talking about the other side of pain and what happens when pain gets so bad you go numb. And I've got a lot of personal experience with this because having must be about 13 years ago, having cracked my sacrum and initially obviously being in a lot of pain with it, I had a whole area of my body go numb without even realizing it had gone numb, to be honest. And that numbness created all sorts of havoc that I was yet to understand fully or appreciate. So it was quite a thing to unpack all of that and figure out what was serving me or what was challenging me. Anyway, I'm going to speak more about this in a moment, but I want you to check in and I want you to think about what numb actually means. I don't know if you did the 5-minute meditation, just to back up a moment, but I sent that out as a gift for yesterday. Do comment below, give me a thumbs up, let me know what happened if you did it. I always love hearing people's information about their experiences with these things. So let's talk about what numb means. So I talked yesterday about how your body talks. And you may have heard me say that phrase before because I love that phrase because your body does speak to you. But what does it mean? I'm going to be repeating myself about this on purpose because it's really that important to understand that your body is talking to you all of the time. Back when if you have done the 5-minute meditation, it's super short, but there's a lot that can come up in 5 minutes. And if you did the meditation, you'll know what I mean. I have a friend who said that meditation made her feel really anxious, which I thought was really interesting. But I was also unsurprised by that information because it allowed a deep insight because it was really about being present in her body in that moment. It allowed her to access a whole load of emotions, some of which had been around a very traumatic experience that she'd experienced some years before, but she'd actually been suppressing those feelings and been unconscious of how she was suppressing them. But the meditation brought her to a point where she was able to recognize, oh gosh, I've got this sensation going on in my body. This makes me feel really uncomfortable. And I have to salute her for going into it and really connecting to it, because that's no small thing by itself. And that's the beginning of really learning what we spoke about yesterday, which is that pain is your friend. If you can go into it and begin to communicate with it and find out what's happening. Now, one of the things that happened with this friend of mine that I was just talking about with her anxiety that came up is that she was constantly keeping really busy. That was her coping mechanism. She was literally constantly on the go, and she'd even praise herself for her ability to basically have what she thought was a huge capacity to keep going and going and going and going and taking action, filling her day literally back to back. Now, I can relate to this because I've also done that in my life. She got to the point that she had 2 jobs. She was exercising all the time. She was socializing all the time as well. But what it really meant And what it boiled down to was that she was actually struggling to be by herself. She was actually struggling to sit still. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this, because that challenge of being able to be alone with yourself, with whatever is coming up, can be huge when we live in a world where there are so many ready distractions available, whether it's on a computer or if you're watching on your phone. Like, there's all these things around us that we can just tap into when we get bored for a moment. And it's easy to step out of what sensations are actually happening in your body. It went on for her, it went on for years. And her body was trying to communicate with her the need for change, by speaking, as I say, like your body talks. So her body was telling her, like, this is not working. And it would show up with increased anxiety. It would show up with isolation issues or sleeping problems. Like it was almost like it was like bubbling out of her, without her really realizing what it was, until she reached a breaking point, and it spiraled into a severe eating disorder. Now, this is an extreme example, and I imagine you can possibly, because we live in such a fully fledged distraction-filled world, relate to the non-stop and keeping on the go. But this is an extreme example that I'm sharing with you. And you might think, because you're managing to juggle 2, 3, maybe 4 realities, however many you've got going on, that you're managing, that you're okay, that you're coping, and there's none of this issue in you. But I know from all the people that I've worked with, and there are thousands and thousands of them, and I know from my own personal journey, that this coping mechanism is something very, very different to actually living as a high functioning human. What I want you to think about is what happens in your body. This will be a way for you to gauge it. Like, what happens in your body when you're still? Are you able to listen to your body? Are you able to sit with whatever might be coming up? How do you feel? What are the sensations that you're aware of? And you can comment below if you'd like. I'm really open to and excited always for a conversation with people about these things, because beginning to get in touch with what's happening in your body is no small feat by itself, especially if you've spent most of your life ignoring or overlooking what's actually going on. Now, I've got my own story about reaching breaking point, because, as I said, I'm very familiar with what my friend's story was. I used to work non-stop. I'd work like 15 hours a day. I was helping others, and so I could justify to myself that it was, good work, and I was serving people. And that's all very true. I was, and I loved so much about it. However, it's very common to help a lot of people, sometimes as a proxy for actually feeling your own shit. And that can be a tough one to shift. It's taken me some time. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's taken me some time to repattern myself around that, but I have, thankfully. And it got to the stage for me, as I mentioned earlier, that my body was shouting so loud that I cracked my sacrum. And as I cracked my sacrum, as I mentioned before, I went numb. Like, the whole left side of my sacrum went numb. And it has taken me years to rebuild my body, to rebuild the connections in my nervous system, to restore movement and function to different areas that, in all honesty, because it happened so gradually, I hardly even noticed I'd gone numb, because I thought, well, I can feel heat, I can feel some sensation in that area. It was only when I started to really go deep into it that I recognized whole sections of my body, mainly around the left sacrum, down my left leg, and parts of my back were completely switched off. And as you can imagine, that caused havoc with basic movements, like my balance went off, all sorts of things. And let's talk about numb. I want to talk about numb a little bit, because numb is why we're here. So numb can be lots of things. Numb can be something that is active or passive. It can be manic or it can be depressive. But basically, you can even feel too much of what's outside of you, but none of what's going on inside of you. Like there are different types of numb. It might be numb to your external environment. It might be numb physically in your body. And you might think, well, I'd rather be numb because then there's no pain. But numb is more than just the absence of pain. And that's what I really would love to dig into with today's chat. Numb is like, I like to think of numb as like a battery. Like the battery in your phone. I like to think of numb as like the battery in your phone. It's like when you have your phone and you put it on battery saver mode, and you're switching it off basically so that you can protect the function of the phone. So you're switching off to protect yourself. That's why parts of the body go numb. That's why I went numb in different areas, because it was so painful. But numb is in fact your enemy when it comes to you and your body's capacity to communicate. And the reason that is because numb will hide the truth from you. It will stop you from feeling vibrant in your body and in your life. It will basically disable you in some ways. And it's something that you can transform. It's something that you can open back up. But when you go numb, when your fascia becomes stuck, the signals and the information in your body stop getting through. This is why I really love talking about your face, because it's easy to see in somebody's face when they have areas of their body that have gone numb, because it will highlight the problems without them even necessarily realizing what's happening. So again, I'm going to go back to making sure that you spend some time looking at the face map that I've got. And if you've yet to take a look at it, then I invite you to comment gift below and we will get one sent out to you. But there's so much information in your face, and mapping where there is things that are going on structurally, or tension, or even numbness or tenderness, like any of those things, all of that information will help you understand what's happening in your body, and it will help you to listen to your body so that your body will then keep feeding you really good quality information. Now, you might think, oh, well, I'm okay. Like I'm pretty much like a warrior. I just keep going. You might feel like you're superhuman because none of these things have been so bad that it's been terrible. You know, maybe you feel numb as something that applies to other people. But I want to also say that endurance or enduring suffering, and I hate to say it, but it can become like a way of life. And I want to remind you that you deserve to show up for yourself. You deserve to tell yourself that you deserve to show up for yourself. I said it yesterday, I'm going to say it again today, because showing up for yourself in your life, in your body, will serve you as to understand where to go next, what to do next, because you'll be getting good, clean, honest information and feedback from your body. So I would like you to experience that feeling before the straw that breaks the camel's back, because that statement is more than just a saying. It might be only one straw that tips it over the edge, but it's remembering, coming back to that endurance piece, that the reason it gets tipped over is because of all the other straws, like one by one by one by one by one, getting on top of you. And that can leave you essentially dealing with a massive pile of like chaotic straws all at the same time. And I would like to give you a different option, because I believe there's no need to go down that road in that way. So in the next video, which will be happening later on this week, and do jump on the mailing list and subscribe so that you'll find out when and how you can join us. But in the next video, I want to talk about what actually causes the feelings that come up for you. And there's one thing that a huge number of us are doing daily that trigger fight or flight, and I want to share with you what that thing is, because it's surprising. And I want to also invite you to a simple practice to help you come back to the moment in a deep and meaningful way. So remember, I am here to help. This is a conversation, after all, about becoming a high-functioning human. And any questions, please comment below or reach out to me via direct messaging. I love having these conversations. And oh, here we go. I do have the information of when the next live stream is. So the next live stream is going to be on Friday. If you want to be reminded, then do subscribe because you will get an email that will go out just before. The link is in my bio if you need it. And between now and the next video, I would love for you to explore the face chart and check out some of my face videos on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, wherever you decide to watch them. But spend some time getting to know your face. Spend some time understanding and learning where is tight, where is tender, where is sore, or where feels like it's stuck or numb. And you can ask me any questions about that in the meantime as well. Figure out though what your body might be saying to you. Take a look at the face chart and think, okay, well, I would, I'm a bit old school. Unless you've got like an iPad or something that you can pop it onto, I would suggest that you print it out or put it on an iPad and literally mark on the areas of your face that you can feel sensations going on as you test the different parts of your face. You can use your fingers if that's all you've got, or if you have a little tool, if you've already been working with me for a while, I know lots of you've grabbed one of those, you can use one of those. So I just want to invite you to, just begin to explore the different areas and see what it all feels like and where you're noticing things. And the key thing is slow with this. The slower you do it and the more attention you pay it, the clearer it will be to you. And it may be that you only get a small bit of information to begin with because your body's unfamiliar with giving you such direct feedback, or you might be surprised. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. We got here eventually. Thank you to all the technological platforms out there that facilitated this and the incredible team that I've got that backs me up in the background. I could do nothing without them. They are wonderful. So yeah, it's a lot of fun, and we had to adapt to change today, and we did it gracefully and very well. So I look forward to continuing this journey with you as a high-functioning human because it's just beginning, and I'm excited to explore and chat with you next time on Friday. So stay empowered and stay connected to your journey.